The difference between a good model and a shit model is usually in the little details that nobody ever wants to take the time to create. So in this video, we're going to make one of the little details on this Rolex watch that I know nobody wants to take the time to create, but it's going to make a massive difference in how cute your model looks, okay? And we're going to be making this little Rolex crown on the top of the face of this watch that you have right here, okay? It's a very important detail. It's the company logo. You want to focus on this in your animations. And by the way, if you've been following the last couple of tutorials, I know that I got some details going on over here that I didn't show you yet, but don't worry, I will show you that in the next couple of videos. We also have this Rolex crown on the crown of the watch, which is a little thing that you use to adjust the fucking time. And that's a normal map here, but it's a very important detail, which I figured it's best if I make another episode for it, because we're going to have to model it manually. It's going to be a little topology exercise, so I'm going to show you how to do that right now in a second. Now, let's start up a new Blender file here. And let me pull up a picture from Google for you right here. I typed in Rolex logo into Google Images, and it gave me this picture right here, which also shows me the texture which I'm supposed to have underneath here. It shows me some of the details, so that's a pretty good reference image. But let's just talk about this for a second. Let's make a little game plan, because you have to be careful with your topology here. The reason you got to be careful with your topology is because you want to ensure that your geometry is flowing correctly, because that's going to make your light reflect from the object correctly. You're going to make sure that that's nice and smooth and pretty. Otherwise, if you have fucked up topology and have n-gons, your lighting is not going to look good at all, okay? So the way we're going to create this is we're first going to add a circle right here, which is going to have 16 vertices. We're going to use a grid fill on that, all right? And then the reason we're using 16 vertices is because that gives us two edges on the bottom, which have a combined length, which is exactly the same as the width of this little hand over here at the top, or the neck, of whatever the fuck you call this. I don't know. I'm not a crown expert. I don't know what you call this part of the crown. But anyway, we're going to have two edges down here, which we're going to extrude to form this shape right here. So two edges here, two edges over here on this side, and of course two edges on all the other fingers. So it's going to look something roughly like this. I'm just going to try to draw it out so you can see how we're going to do this. It's very important that you keep this stuff in mind, because you want to make sure your geometry is going to be flowing correctly. You want to make a little game plan when you're modeling this type of stuff. And then we're going to connect these here. We're going to fill this, and we're going to have an extra edge connecting each of these little hands here. And then we can extrude that geometry to form the circle down here like this, okay? So we're just going to extrude that and connect it down here. But these last two edges, they're going to be cut off down here. So we're going to bring them down to here. We're not going to bring them to the edge of the circle. And we're going to use that to form the lower part of this crown like this. So we're going to extrude this a little bit further down. We're going to make an extra little quad over here so we can control this corner here a little bit better when it's under the influence of the subdivision surface modifier. And then we can just extrude those edges. We can just extrude those edges to form this lower part down here, and that's going to give us a beautiful crown shape. Of course, then we extrude it and we bevel it and all that, but that's how we're going to create this crown. So we got Blender right here. I'm going to go to top view, delete my default cube, and I got a reference image from Google. Again, I just typed in Rolex logo PNG, and that gives me a Rolex crown logo with a transparent background. So I'm going to go Shift A, image reference, go to my reference folder. I got my Rolex crown right here. And I'm going to lower that down a little bit just so it doesn't bother me as I'm modeling. But another thing that I like to do with my reference images is go over here to Object Data Properties. You're going to check opacity, because when you check opacity, you can see your grid, your background grid. You can see your axes. If you don't check that, you can't see shit. It's a little bit more difficult to work with. So I like to do that. And now I can just use this reference. I can create whatever I want to create. So I'm going to go Shift A, Mesh Circle. And like I said, that circle has to have 16 vertices, because look at that. When you place it down here, these two edges down here combined have exactly the right width for this part down here. Now, alternatively, what you can do if you don't want to use a circle, alternatively, you can do this. This is a little bit more complicated. I'm not sure this is the correct way to do it, but this is what I did later on because I thought it looked a little bit nicer, but it's a little bit more difficult. You might want to do this. You might want to add a cube with two levels of subdivision surface, which you're going to apply, and you're going to delete the lower half of that cube. And keep in mind, when you look at it from top view, that's still just a circle. And you can extrude this, and then you're going to use these faces down here to extrude down the part which we're about to extrude over here out of this little circle. And that's just going to give you this little dome shape for your crown. Okay, so that's going to look a little bit more detailed. It might look a little bit better. So just keep in mind that now you have more geometry to work with, so it might be a little bit harder, but that's an alternative method for doing this. I tried both methods, and you could do both if you want to, just as an exercise. But you can go up here now to Face Grid Fill. We're going to adjust the offset here, just so we can align this correctly with the axes. You don't really have to, because the edges here are unchanged. Everything's the same. We can still use this just as well, but I'm going to adjust the offset just so just so my shit is a little bit more organized. And then we're going to take two edges from here, extrude them down on the y-axis. You're going to scale it up like this, and we're also going to scale them to 0 on the y-axis because I want to have a straight line here. And that's it. We got our first finger for our crown. I don't know why I call it a finger. I don't know what the hell it's really called. Somebody can tell me in the comments if you know anything about crowns. I'm not a crown expert, but we're going to duplicate this now and rotate it a little bit. Bring it over here. Then Shift D again, duplicate it, bring it over here. And now we have 3 little fingers for our crown. Now we want to cut this shit off down here. So we're going to use a knife tool, K. K, click right here. Hit enter. You're also going to click over here. Okay, make a cut right here. That just cuts off the extra material that we have down there. Maybe we should move this a little bit further down to around here somewhere. And then, of course, we're going to start filling in these gaps here. So the way to do this is you select these 2 vertices, you fill them with F. And now you can't really add a subdivision surface modifier yet because that's not going to affect your mesh when you just have a paper thin, a fucking little string of an edge right there. So what we're going to do now is take this geometry here, select it all. So you can just do that by selecting one vertex, control selecting the other vertex. It's going to select the entire segment and everything in between. And now just extrude this down a little bit to around here somewhere. Keep in mind that this is probably going to fuck up your normals. As you can see here, we got some shading problems. This one's darker than the other one. The subdivision surface modifier is not going to work. That's why you pay attention to your normals, okay? What you do is you select everything. For me, it's Shift N. For you, it might not be Shift N. I don't know why they always change this every time they update Blender. They always fuck up their shortcuts, so you always got to learn Blender again. So for you, it might be Mesh, Normals, Recalculate Outside. I recommend you set that. Change shortcut, right-click, change shortcut to Shift N or whatever you want, Control N, whatever you want. So now this is a little bit cleaner. As you can see, these curves here are still way too sharp, but in a moment we're going to fix that with some extra edge loops here, but we're going to get to that. Let's place our 3D cursor onto this middle vertex here, and we're going to set the pivot point to 3D cursor. So now you can scale shit towards or away from the 3D cursor. You can rotate everything around the 3D cursor. We're just going to scale this down a little bit just to align this geometry here a little bit better. Let's also push it all the way down so we get this part here. And now we have to move these vertices around a little bit. We have to move them manually. We have to place them so that our mesh aligns with the reference image. Okay, you want to make sure that this is a nice circular shape. So it's got to be something like this. But as I said to you before, we want to take these 2 edges from over here. And don't worry, we are going to clean this up. This edge is probably not aligned perfectly, but we are going to clean that up later on. We're going to take these 2 edges here, and we're going to use those to extrude this part down here. So extrude that once up until around here somewhere. You can add an extra loop cut here if you want to, but let's save that for later. And now I could just take this edge segment here and extrude it like this. I could just place this on the corner, but I need to tighten up this corner. I need to make this curve here a little bit sharper. And I don't want to just add extra loop cuts here like this, because that's also going to tighten up the inside, which I don't want. I also don't want to slide these vertices inwards, because that gives me a lot of stretching and it's going to fuck everything up. So instead, I'm just going to wire my geometry in a little bit of a different way. So I'm going to take this vertex and I'll slide it up to here. And then I can just extrude this edge downwards, place the corner here, and bring this one down here. And now you can see I redirected the flow of my geometry. So now it stops here instead of continuing here. And that allows me to take these vertices here and I can slide them inwards to tighten up this corner without really messing anything up too much. And then I just want to simply take these edges here and extrude them out a little bit further. Extrude one more time. I'm going to scale that to 0 while my 3D cursor is still up here. To 0 on the x-axis, so it's aligned with the rest of this object here with the middle. And now you have to play around with this a little bit, so you have to just move shit around for a couple of minutes. You have to maybe add a couple more loop cuts here to make this a smoother curve. You want to lift this up a little bit. I don't want to spend too much time on it because you get the idea. You just want to make sure that everything is flowing nice and smooth. You want to make sure that you got a nice circular shape here. Maybe you want to add a loop cut over here. Maybe you don't want to. It's up to you. But once you get a reasonably good shape here, let's delete 1/2 like this. Let's also fix this up a little bit because I want to take this a little bit further down here so it's a little bit deeper. Let's add some loop cuts like this. We're going to select those loop cuts, and with double G we're going to slide them downwards. I think we took this shit a little bit too far, so I'm going to bring it back up a little bit. And of course you want to adjust these vertices a little bit. You want to play around with the shape here so you can get the right curve, but it's a very small thing which is not really going to be that visible. Just make sure that it looks pretty clean like it looks right now. You want it to be something sort of like this, right? So now we got a pretty good shape. We don't really have to worry about anything else too much. Of course, we also want to add some loop cuts over here to the top to tighten up this part. You want to bring that up here with double G. And then you can just select everything, Shift D, right click, scale it to -1 on the x-axis. You once again have to correct your normals. But before you do that, you got to recognize that you have double vertices here, right? So you got to select everything. M merge by distance. For me, the shortcut for that is Shift W, because that's what it was in the old versions of Blender. When I was learning this shit, it was Shift W by default. So I just go M merge by distance. I right click and I change my shortcut to Shift W because I'm old school. But now you can extrude this up a little bit like this. And again, this is what happens when you have bad normals. So you want to select everything, Shift N to correct the normals, and as you can see now, it's a lot better. Now, once you extrude this, you're going to notice you probably have some imperfections. For example, we have to adjust the curve down here. We have to move some vertices. You don't want to have anything jagged like this. You can see my geometry. It goes down here, then it goes up, then it goes back down. It looks a little bit shitty, so you want to make sure that you don't have anything like that going on. You want to play around with this. This is why you don't want to have too many vertices on your object, because if you have a lot of geometry, if you have a lot of vertices, you have a lot of control points, then it's very difficult to see those little imperfections. It's also very difficult to control them because you got to make very smooth movements. But if you got less geometry, then it becomes easier to work with. This is why I also advise you to probably not use this edge loop over here, so you have less control points, so it's a little bit easier to work with this, okay? And then you want to also adjust this a little bit further, but I'm not going to do that now because you understand. I'm just going to move these vertices around a little bit further. I don't want to waste your time, so you're going to watch me moving around vertices for 30 fucking minutes, but something like this anyway. It's going to be something like this. And then finally, you want to bevel the edges to make them nice and cute. So you're going to select a couple of edge segments like this. Shift G, select similar. Face angles. That's going to select all the edges which have the same angle as the edges which you had selected previously, or roughly the same angle. You can control the threshold here. You can reduce this number, and then it's going to be only edges which have exactly the same fucking angle, or you can increase the number so it can tolerate a little bit more. So if it's an edge which has a similar angle, that edge is also going to be selected. But I'm just going to go with something like 0.001. And as you can see, that selects all the edges. You always want to check when you use this tool. You want to make sure that your edges are selected correctly. These are the edges which I want to sharpen. So I'll go Control B to add a bevel. I'll scroll up once because I want 2 segments. And I'll set the shape value here to 1. And another very important thing when you're beveling something, you have to be careful. You have to pay attention to whether you want to use your loop slide tool or not. Your loop slide tool, check what it does over here. Okay, here's what loop slide looks like. Just look at this part, and here's what no loop slide looks like. So look at the difference, all right? When you use loop slide, when you bevel something, the vertex comes from here and it just follows the edge on the inside. It moves inwards. It only slides along that edge. When you don't use loop slide, then everything is just moving inwards, and you have a more consistent width for your bevel, right? So I like to go with no loop slide, but sometimes you're going to have to use loop slide. It depends on the context. So just keep in mind that this feature does exist. It's going to come in handy from time to time, okay? And now you have your Rolex crown. You have your crown, you have your little logo. You can make your bevel a little bit wider if you want to. You can play around with it a little bit more if you want to make it a little bit more round and smooth and soft or something else. You can do a couple more things here if you want to, but let's just keep this for simplicity's sake. Maybe if you want to, you can undo this bevel. You can only add 1 bevel here, and then the edges are going to look a little bit smoother. But now, of course, you're going to go to Object, Shade Smooth. And I'm going to show you how you can import this file into your Blender file. You want to import this object into your Blender file. We have the watch, okay? I did this in a separate file just because it's a little bit easier to work with it here. I don't want to have all the other stuff in my scene. So now you can take this object here. You can rename it in the outliner up here. You can just double click, rename it to whatever, Rolex logo. You don't have to rename it because it's the only mesh object in the scene. And of course you want to save this file, right? So you're going to save this as a Rolex crown. And then you're going to go to your other file where you have your main Rolex watch going on here, which we've been working on in the last couple of episodes. And you go up here to File, you click on Append, and you have to find the Rolex Crown Blender file that we have right here. You double click on that, you click on the Objects folder, and here you have all your objects. So you can click on Rolex logo right here, Append, and Blender's going to pull that shit out of the other file. And now you have it in your scene right here, so you can place it anywhere you want to. And in this case, we want to scale it way down. We're going to scale it way down. We want to place it in the middle of the object right here. And you're just going to move it up a little bit, so you place it over here. And the other thing you want to keep in mind is how close this is to your surface, because you don't want to have it too close. You don't want to have a perfectly sharp edge here, because that's not going to look very realistic in your close-up shots. Let me use this here as an example. This is not going to look very realistic in your close-up shots if it just cuts into the surface. It's going to be way too sharp. So you might want to just lift it up a little bit. You might want to lift it up just a little bit so you can see a little bit of the edge underneath. You can see a little bit of shading. and that's just gonna make it look a little bit more realistic. Maybe not this much, but just a little bit further, something like this. Just keep in mind that there's this little gap here, which is gonna make everything look a little bit more realistic. Now you got your crown and your Rolex. In the next couple of videos, we're gonna be making this crown over here for adjusting the time. We're gonna be making the texture here. We're gonna be making the brushed metal material. This is very important. We're gonna use some nodes for this. I'm gonna show you how to make this texture for the face of the watch. These letters over here on the outside and all that combined together is going to make our watch look really fucking nice. Of course, we still have to make the strap here. We're going to make the buckle. We're going to make some pretty good animations for this watch later as well. So make sure you subscribe to the fucking channel. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in the next episode.